everyone. My name is Dave. Welcome to NTD Racing. We are at a place called Selkirk, which is just north of Fairplay in Colorado. And we are on an adventure. We started, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and it's called Gold, Gas, and Glory. I kind of feel like we could drop the gas, or gold part.
Gold, yeah.
Because
it's a lie.
Gas, and glory.
So here's the whole point. Here's the whole point. We go on adventures all the time. We do desert race trucks and all this stuff. We wanted to have a trip where it was more just hanging out, not talking about race trucks or any of that kind of stuff.
A little bit.
And then the theme would be everywhere we went, we would be able to gold pan. So we were out here gold panning.
And I did find gold, by the way.
Oh, check that out. That is a nice piece of gold. Was that floating on top of all the rocks? Anyway, no, it was kind of cool. We started from Monument. 3 of us on motorcycles, 1 of us in a trusty Jeep, Bears in his Jeep.
Yeah.
It was a pretty epic start up through.
Except within the first 10 minutes, arguably the most experienced off-road rider, not that experienced, but the most experienced
of this group.
I go down within 10 minutes of
Still on Mount Herman
of us
Road?
leaving the restaurant, heading off-road.
Yeah, so I'm cruising along up Mount Herman Road. It's a really cool, windy road. And we're all talking to each other over, what's the thing called? Group? Just
Pack talk.
Pack talk. And so I'm listening, and it's really weird because you're talking to each other. But when you actually hear somebody crashing over comms, it is a totally different feeling. Because you hear, oh, Danny's down. And
four-letter words.
Some 4-letter words.
My knee.
Yeah, and then
50-year-old man hitting the ground.
I think I got to work in to catch up, and your shifter's broken. But you've ridden the whole trip with a bad shifter.
Yeah.
And
little nub.
We've been breaking some parts the whole way. First night was, I thought, pretty cool. It was Cottonwood Campground. I think that's what it was called. Beautiful. And we got there, I don't know, close to sunset, had a great meal, did some gold panning, and didn't find a thing. I'll tell you what is really cool about these things is kind of the people that you run into along the way. And so we pull up, and immediately the camp host comes up, and his name is Mike, and he's suspect right away. And he's wearing like a Vietnam vet hat, and I was like, we're gonna get along with Mike. He's gonna be a good dude. He's got to get through the candy shell. And and sure enough, man, he's a great dude. Went over there and talked to him and his wife for a little bit, and it was a pretty cool experience meeting him. And he's a great host. And I would tell you, of all the campsites I've ever been to, I think in my life, the cleanest, as far as like fire pits, immaculate, everything. The bathrooms, pit bathrooms are never clean or nice to go to, and they were immaculate. He hit pictures up and those kinds of things. His wife and his wife just did an amazing job keeping that place clean
and sanitized, but no gold. Still no gold.
No freaking gold.
Yeah, it's because Mike said he took it all already.
He did, yeah. He's been paying it.
Yeah, when we told him we were paying him for gold, he goes, "You're not going to find anything."
Yeah,
classic. That was good dinner. That was steak night.
Steak night.
Steak
and potatoes. So good.
A picture of that. That was a pretty good dinner.
It was.
We were just No, but your back was hurting, so.
Yeah, back was hurting and still hurting, and it's this weird old man pain where it only hurts in a panning for gold standing up position, but I can ride my bike all day long and not really have any issues.
Nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
No, so we were like, well, your back's hurting. We got a remedy for this. And so as we kind of go through Buena Vista up towards Mount Princeton, there's a place there on the side of the road called Mount Princeton Hot Springs, and it is
nice,
expensive, but epic. It is totally cool. They got this endless pool. They got all kinds of hot springs. We went there.
And a water slide.
2 water slides.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah, they have a hot infinity pool and then not as hot upper pool.
Yeah.
And the river section down below.
The river section that we did not partake in, but next time
we partake in plenty of water sliding. That's awesome. Anyway.
Somebody that can't afford $7.
Because it is a good thing that we had that moment to relax, because we continue on from there up through St. Elmo, and that's when starts the Tincup Pass. And I will tell you that I was not, like, of all the things I was expecting, that was not one I was, because I'm pretty new to dirt biking. Done a lot of mountain biking, done a lot of off-road roading, but getting to this area was difficult, would you say?
Yeah, straight up and rocks, non-stop rocks.
You want to talk about the first 20 seconds?
You come out of that old, abandoned mining town,
St. Elmo,
and you make that left, and you look up that hill, and it's
just
like
rocks.
a cobblestone street out of a nightmare,
Yeah.
right?
Because they're all
I
jagged
was like,
cobblestone.
this can't be the road. This can't be the way we're supposed to. It's been like so nice up until this point.
But I thought it was fun because
Yeah,
following
fun
you
watch.
guys up to that point was like kind of boring for a Jeep, but that was a Jeep trail.
Yeah.
And you got the most epic shot.
Yes, I just you record. I had my iPhone on the holder on my dashboard, so it was looking forward, and you get hours of nothing, but every once in a while you get a little gem. And I started recording, and Jim and Denny was up further up, and Jim were going at the same time, and they fell opposite directions simultaneously, and it was funny.
And
But we're not putting that on the internet, right? That's
that is going
That's
up.
going probably right about where I told that story is where
For
the
anybody
video's
out
gonna be.
there that's a dirt bike rider, and I officially classify myself one after going over this pass.
Yeah.
There is no pride lost in dropping your bike.
Yeah.
There's more pride lost in turning around and saying I'm not going to do it.
yeah.
But dropping your
Agree.
bike because I dropped mine, you dropped yours, Jim. Yours spent a lot of time
on the
side.
ground.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jim's
Couple of
didn't like
times where I
starting
didn't think I was
after
gonna get
that.
that bike back up. Needed a little help. It was leaking gas out of the tank when it's on site. You said that's a normal thing. I didn't
Little
know
vent
that was
out
a
the
thing.
top.
It
Yeah.
seemed normal because it was happening on mine when I dropped mine. It was like shooting out the side.
It's like, do you smell gas? It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple times where I was like, it's just this bike. If can't get it back up, and then if I can get it started again, and had to push start it back downhill, and then
So yeah,
And then you got to go from zero in those rocks. You got to get going,
Yeah.
which
you
is
gotta
tough.
get some momentum. It's the only way to get through those
Yeah,
rocks.
I will say that we pushed through what I would call like one of the most epic cobblestone from hell hills. And I had my iPad going, and I had it on a pivot mount. If you watch one of my shorts from just a little while ago, I showed you how I mounted my iPad on my bike, and it worked amazing. And I couldn't believe how well that thing stuck on there, but it just goes to show how tough the pivot case is, and the combination with the iPad, and just how useful that is. And as I'm going up this hill, it was just unbelievably difficult going up. All of us were just having a hard time with it. But then as you crested that last hill, it was like just the reward. And I just opened up to just the most amazing scene. I pulled off the side, and both of you guys rode by me. And it was just,
what a great shot.
the camera would never capture what your eyeballs were seeing as one of those
Yeah, it
events.
never
It was just
does.
so beautiful. But in fact, I was able to pull over one time also in the Jeep as it was kind of winding up the last couple hairpin turns up towards the Tincup Pass.
Going much slower than you
epic.
guys. But yeah, it was
Made it.
fun. A lot of time in
Everywhere.
4 low.
Every time, there's no way Bear's going to make it. And then all of a sudden, here comes
So that
Bear.
big mud puddle too that we went through.
Yeah.
We all were like, this Bear will make it through that.
It was tough, but it was fun.
But the other thing the camera doesn't capture is, when we're going up, and I don't know how long we were actually going up the mountainside, but it felt like a really long time.
Yeah.
And that is exhausting work on a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
And I probably had the easiest job with my motorcycle. It's more geared towards that than the other two. And so at one point I get in front and I'm just going up because what I want to see is I want to turn the corner and just see the rocks kind of diminish and turn into this nice flat trail. And every time I turn a corner, it just gets worse.
But it kind of reminded me, like the whole time I was there, I was thinking about when like mile 560 to 600 of Baja, where it was just the worst. It could have been like the worst experience ever. But for me, just like hanging out with the bros and pushing the bikes, past, helping each other out, lifting up bikes, whatever it took,
Getting through it
to
no
kind of
matter
push
what.
the bikes down the line.
At one point, Bear said, this kind of looks like the goat trail because of how steep and the
Yeah.
angle. I was like, it is. It's just the rocks aren't quite as big, but there's
Yeah.
enough of them to make you think twice.
It is.
I kept thinking it'd be fun to do this in Honcho or Lefty.
It'd be fun. Yeah, that would be cool.
So then we hit that peak and it's the Continental Divide,
Top of Tincup
Right.
Pass.
12,000 plus feet, right?
So beautiful.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
way up there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
yeah, and then
There were people up there
And
too.
we're like, oh, we're going to be easy going down the other side. It was not
It
easy
was
going down
not
the other side.
easy.
No, did we drop it them all? Oh, maybe we had
Down
one
was
time we dropped it.
yeah.
But Jim, you and I were kind of riding close together, and we helped each other lift bikes up and all that kind of stuff. It was really cool. And, it was almost like the rest of the way from there, kind of continued down. We ran into that amazing lake.
Yeah, but so we missed our cutoff time because the first part was so long we were going to go to Frenchie's.
Frenchie's
Yeah.
dinner.
All right, in this town, David'd seen this restaurant before. And when we hit this beautiful lake at the bottom of that downhill, we realized at this point we're not going to make it. So then do we camp here or keep pushing on? We decided to push on because we thought Chris might make it. But the other cool thing on that lake was the side of it, like the cobblestones are under the water.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you got footage of that because you're just riding and you can see what you're driving through.
Yeah.
But if you put your foot down, you get wet.
Or if the bike goes down,
Yeah.
it's going to be
Underwater.
really
Swimming.
Yeah, that was really cool. No, it was. I would tell you that it was nice to have that mostly smooth road. And for me, being pretty much a beginner at this whole thing, just seeing the difference between the way we started it at Mount Herman Road to after riding Tincup Pass, and then the rest of the way all the way to Dinner Station was just a totally different rider experience. And the whole time I'm just thinking like that was difficult. I can't wait to plan the next one.
Yeah.
Whatever it is we do next, maybe more nice hotels. I don't know, but something like that. But.
I don't know. The campsite last night was pretty epic.
Yeah.
And the
Campsites have
dinner
all
was
been good.
also just amazing.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's something you kind of forget is when
Chicken
you get
fajitas.
out there, especially kind of in the open, and you can see the peaks. Was just the view of the
Oh, yeah.
sunset.
Yeah.
And the sun had already kind of set behind the hill behind us, but watching the sunset walk itself up the hill off in the distance, that was a pretty amazing event.
Yeah. Things you don't see unless you get out in the mountains.
There's lightning over the horizon behind us. You
Yeah.
can see it every once in a while. It was just flashing. It was just incredible.
Was this about the time that Denny lost the bet?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, it was still light out, so it was
30
pretty
hours.
soon after we got to the campsite. Denny had to run.
The
quickly.
chili eggs
No.
caught up to
The
him.
chili eggs, all that stuff. We
what is that?
were kind of like we're going to make it from Black Forest Cafe all the way back to Arlene's Beans, 3 days, and he was never going to use a pit toilet. And that-
For number 2.
how long did that last, Jim? How many hours?
It was 36 hours.
36 hours.
Maybe?
Halfway.
Had a
He
timer
came
going.
skipping back about 5 pounds lighter.
I won the bet. That's all that matters.
What'd you win?
You were pretty happy coming
I'm
back.
getting a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah. Speaking of, so the sunset I thought was epic, but we woke up, it was rain showers, we had some hail that
got
night,
some hail.
and then the sunrise the next day, equally amazing. Just kind of watching just that view of like clouds spilling over a mountain and that kind of stuff, and that was
And the
as sun was
fog.
coming up, and
A
the
little
fog
foggy.
rolling
Sun
in.
piercing the
By the
fog.
time I got up, it was foggy.
That was pretty epic. No,
But everything was wet now.
so this is when we realized that you had a problem with your bike.
Yeah. So the day before, right at the end of the ride, I'd noticed a little sound that it just didn't sound right. So when we got to the camp, after we got everything set up, I went to check the alignment on my rear wheel. And as I do that, I realize it's off, and I realize I've lost the nut that goes through, the bolt through the hub.
Pretty much holding the axle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so there's a little bolt there, but the nut and that bolt could just
Yeah.
slide out. Welcome.
It's
Not
it's not a way. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to ride your bike. So at that point, we're hoping maybe we can find. There's so much off-road vehicle stuff in Colorado that I think maybe we
Surely
find
we could
Surely
find this one,
be something Buena Vista.
nut to go on there.
It's
No,
a very
so-
specialized nut.
So we load up your bike onto Bear's truck, and then Jim and I go off on. It was cold, but it was an epic ride. It was brand new paved road over Cottonwood Pass. Beautiful ride. It was,
12,000 feet.
gosh, it was so much fun. It made me kind of think about my XR 650. It's been one of my dream bikes to have. I know it's like an old bike, an old man bike or whatever. It's a heavy bike. I've always wanted one. And as I was riding it over Tincup Pass and as I was riding it over Cottonwood Pass, it just made me realize what I liked about it. Just how it just has that down low RPM torque, and it just keep pulling itself out. And I was just thinking about that when we were riding up that hill. The little thumper was just pulling along. But we pretty quick drop into Buena Vista, and after checking a few stores, and we are not going to find.
Yeah.
M19
Nowhere.
1.75 pitch.
Every auto
No,
parts
they didn't.
store, Tractor Supply,
Off-road
Ace Hardware,
shop.
any off-road, nothing.
And that's
So
when
we
our bro,
phone up.
yeah, that's when our bro Josh, he comes through big time. He goes, "Hey, I got a buddy there. I got somebody for you."
No guy.
And we head over to
Chris's place.
shop. And I tell you what, I'm instantly a best friend of Chris. I love that dude. He has a place called Hoover Hobbies LLC, You can get him at hooverhobbiesllc@gmail.com or 970-376-4852 is his phone number if you were in Buena Vista. And he's like a fabricator. That dude is full up. He's got
Great shop.
awesome Jeep, a rat rod. He does motorcycles, all kinds of cool stuff. And just like the nicest dude. And we spent, an hour and a half there.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, have my shop, whatever you need. Like, so we're TIG welding, we're cutting. And by the time we're done, we'd actually
Coming up with
made
solutions,
a 1.5 inch bolt out of a graded 1/2 inch bolt, cut in half. We took the axle off of one of his kids' old wagon. We cut that
Radio
up.
flyer wagon.
TIG welded that together.
All solid.
Pounded it through, and now we bolted the whole thing together.
Just sandwiched it. Left the axle that's there in it. This just went through the center.
I'm going to make a bet. 5 years from now, that bolt is still in the back of that bike.
Yeah. It's got a story.
All right.
Take that bet, did he?
Yep.
I'm not a betting man.
It did work.
Not anymore.
After 35
Not
hours.
anymore.
Now that I kind of think about it, I look at it, we did make one error with that bolt. Had we run it through the opposite direction, you could remove the original bolt and keep the 1.5 inch one still sleeved inside. But the way that it's in, you actually got to remove that 1.5 inch, which takes a big ass hammer,
Yeah.
and then pull the bolt out. So we could have made it to where you could
You're
have
saying 1.5 inch.
Yeah.
1/2 inch. To
I
half
don't want
inch.
to know. Yeah.
But yeah,
But what
no,
about your
you-
bike problem? The leaky fuel.
Yeah.
Somehow, one of the lobes of his tank, there was not fuel line because the way it was deteriorating, it looked like it was being eaten
It
by
was-
the
So
gas.
the dude who owned the bike before me, he put an aftermarket tank. It's got a 5-gallon tank on it, which is awesome. But he did not use fuel compliant, like clear line. And that stuff, like we're over there and all of a sudden the thing's just like draining gas like a hose. There's a big puddle of gas underneath the bike, which could have ended that
Unfortunate.
not well. But yeah, so we'll be doing some maintenance later on tonight, getting new fuel line on my bike.
Yeah. It was a lot of fuel. Maybe not quite as much as Bear had in the back of the
Yeah.
Jeep.
I had a
Speaking of
nice-
gas, yeah.
Nice 5-gallon tank because Jim's bike doesn't go very far in a tank of gas. We're worried about keeping his topped off, so my gas tank, my 5 gallons, we loosen it to vent it, fill up Jim's thing, and put it back in the back of the Jeep without closing the filler cap. And with the way we're driving, that did not go well because we're all smelling gas. I thought that was just the gas can because they smell sometimes. But when we got to this campsite and we started unpacking everything, there was some wetness. Like we took the pan out of the back of the Jeep you can
You
put
spent a
stuff.
whole day
And
huffing gasoline, bro.
Yeah, I'm glad it's a soft top Jeep because at least it's not airtight. So yeah, I was
Sending us
rolling down
text messages like,
windows.
took a wrong turn. I'm in Leadville.
I don't know what happened. I blacked out. Somehow I kept driving. But no, yeah, gas literally poured out of that tray in the back. So that's airing out now.
Yeah, but
That was
you know,
awesome.
so we left. We got the bike back together, left Buena Vista, and the ride up here I thought was awesome. We stayed on the roads. We were planning on going dirt roads, but we just ran out of time. We didn't want to ride over Mosquito Pass at night. We finally kind of got
Instead of
onto
camp at
the
night.
dirt as we were pulling up into Selkirk.
Beautiful
Yeah.
view, that last little stretch with the drop off on the right.
yeah.
Yeah, I will tell you, we're here 3 weeks too early because this place is going to be what I would call like a tunnel of yellow aspens that you could ride down. It would be like literally the most
Cool.
epic view. It's such a cool place. I think a month, 3 weeks to a month from now to come out to. Maybe I will come up here and go do some camping or something like that. I think
Yeah.
I think it's going to be amazing up here.
Yeah, because right after you finish that incredible view, on the road with the drop off, and then you go through that huge forest of aspen trees. I mean, I've never seen so many aspen in my life.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, it was
It's
amazing.
going to be really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've grown up with aspens. We have aspens in
Can't
our
wait
front
to-
yard. I've never seen this many aspens.
Can't wait to see
Yeah.
the footage from that.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty epic. And then we got here. It was raining on us. We got a fire lit. Went out and did some gold panning. We get a damn piece of gold. So
Nothing.
So the Gas and Glory trip was amazing. No,
And if we did find any, we wouldn't tell you anyway.
that's right,
Get off my claim,
Mike.
Mike.
No, that was awesome.
Water's cold.
Yeah. Tomorrow we still got to sleep through the night, make it through that, and
Yeah.
maybe there'll be some good footage after this. But it was, I thought, pretty epic. Looking back, just huge thanks again to Mike and his wife at Cottonwood. Huge thanks to Chris and his wife Emily in Buena Vista. You guys were amazing, and I sure hope our paths cross many more times again.
I think Jim's got a good quote that kind of sums up the trip.
So one of the cool things about the pack talks is you can have your music playing. So one of the random songs I had playing while we're going down the backside, the rocky side of Tincup Pass is it's like, when's the last time you did something for the first time? So I was listening to this song, and I started talking to Dave, who was right in front of me going downhill. I was like, listen to the words of the song, Dave. And I was thinking about it, like, this is definitely something I'm doing for the first time. And it's a question you really need to ask yourself probably a lot more often. You know, when's the last time you did something for the first time? And that was definitely a first for me.
We definitely talked about it. It's okay to go out and scare yourself every now and then.
Yeah.
Keeps your life interesting.
Yeah.
It was cool we were able to talk about that while
You got to
going
be a little
down
bit on the
mountain.
edge. And that is no lie. And if you like this story, we got some other great stories. Maybe this one right here from our Baja story, which we call Never Quit, which was amazing. And I hope you like what you saw here. You'll consider subscribing, and we will see you next week. Take care of yourself. You can hold it like that the whole time.
That's just weird.
It feels weird. It feels awkward, like not natural.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
We had this spot. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Oh, dude, it's gonna fall apart. It's gonna be weird.